On the eve of the calendar's turn to October, Hartford Athletic has reached a fork in the road of its season with Charlotte Independence in town. Win and the playoff chase is alive. Anything short of 3 points, and Hartford's playoff dreams fade almost entirely. From Dillon Stadium with longtime Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malfa. Tonight's action is presented by Trinity Health of New England. We take a look at the standings here in the Atlantic Division to paint a clearer picture of what I'm talking about here. Brought to you by Hornitos. There is Charlotte in 4th. There is Hartford in 6th. Right now a 10-point gap, and time is running out for Hartford.
Time is running out, and Charleston Battery also trying to catch Charlotte. They have to close that gap, both the Battery and Athletic, because that's the final place up for grabs there. And Charlotte right now have a hold on it with that massive gap, which is why a win tonight is absolutely vital for Hartford Athletic.
These teams have played twice already this season to the neutral. 2 very entertaining games, a 3-2 Charlotte win, a 2-0 Charlotte win. But that result cannot happen tonight if Hartford's going to have any chance in the playoff race.
No, they have to get a result. There's absolutely no question about that. First one hitting the back of the net here, and Charlotte has such good finishes. They pick up on any errors, any problems. Palomino with that one, just sneaking that into the corner, and then Sabella picked that one out the back of the net.
Second time these teams met, it was all about Sylvain Marveau. Scored both of the goals in that 2-0 win. He's been a difference maker for Charlotte.
Yeah, good finish. Look how he hooks this. He's going past the ball and then hooks his left foot around, and this one as well just knows exactly where he wants to put the ball. Sylvain Marveau, a real quality signing for Charlotte Independence.
Now, one of the telling signs for these two teams in this matchup will be who scores first tonight. Charlotte has done a terrific job of jumping on opponents recently.
Yep, they have. They've got ahead in most of the games they have played and finished teams off, and that's what you want to have. Problem is for Hartford, every time they fall behind, they tend to lose matches. So whoever scores first is going to be important here tonight.
And right now, the way Charlotte is playing, you take your pick of who that goal might come from up top with the way things are clicking on all cylinders for the Jacks. We take a look now at how these teams have fared since July 31st, and it tells you why they are where they are in this playoff race. You go all the way back to July 30th. Hartford was up 7 points on Charlotte. Now they're down 10. Here's how things have gone since July 31st.
Well, it paints the picture, doesn't it? Charlotte have been in great form, winning a whole ton of goals, losing only the odd 1 or 2. It's been exactly the opposite for Hartford Athletic. And speaking to Harry Watling, he's struggling to put his finger on it. A little bit lack of confidence here, errors perhaps individual, but points earned 7 in that period of time. No wonder they've dropped away from that 4th place. And again, make the point, they have to turn it around tonight, or their chances of making the playoffs are very small indeed.
Now, one player who you cannot point to at all as being one of the issues for this Hartford squad is Jeff Caldwell. He has been immense in goal, 95 saves, 6 clean sheets this season. He has bailed them out time and again.
He has, which makes you even more worried about how badly Hartford have been in defense. Their goalkeeper's the star of the show, and still they can't win games. Jeff Caldwell, brilliant, not just with the saves, the clean sheets, but 5 penalty saves as well on top of that.
Now, the best games for goalkeepers, though, are games in which they don't have to do anything because it means the players in front are doing their jobs. And here's a team tonight in front of Caldwell.
Yeah, 3 changes in this particular team, and you'll see that Luca Purpose come in for Connor McGlynn. In the back, Askanov for Tulu, Apollon Askanov, that is, for Tulu. So that's an interesting change. He makes his debut. And Derek Dodson, a regular scorer, in for Darwin Lom up front. So 4-4-2 is the lineup for Hartford Athletic.
On the flip side for Charlotte, it is very quickly turned into one of the most talented teams on paper in all of USL Championship.
Oh, it's so hugely stacked. I mean, some of the great players. Look at Fuchs at the back there. What a top player he has been. But they've also made 3 changes from the team that lost 2-1 in Birmingham. Adam Armour in for Riascos, Gabriel Oberton in for Jake Arman, and Sylvain Marveau is back to haunt Hartford. He replaces Joel Johnson.
This is the team that Charlotte will look to see if Mike Jeffrey's squad can go ahead and maybe dash the hopes of Hartford Athletic. The final month of the USL Championship regular season begins tomorrow, and what happens tonight may dictate how dramatic the Atlantic Division playoff race can be. Will Hartford stay alive, or will Charlotte deal a crushing blow? Kickoff is next. Teams are out on the field at Dillon Stadium, just about set to begin on this evening in Hartford. With Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malva. Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game. What do you have for us, Gary?
Well, as far as Hartford are concerned, they must score first. When they score first, they've had 9 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. When the opponents score first, 0 wins, 10 losses, and 2 draws. So clearly massive for Hartford. And for Charlotte, get the experienced players on the ball. They have some of the best players. You alluded to that in the opening. Oberton, Fuchs, Marvo, Bazama. I mean, these are all top-class players with MLS experience. You want to get those players on the ball as much as possible, especially early on in the game.
Those keys brought to you by Hoffman Auto Group. And it is do or die time for this Hartford squad. Harry Watling made no bones about it. He said it's absolutely make or break for us. Have to win. They play Charlotte twice still this season, of course, tonight being one of those. And they have a chance to launch an all-out assault, he called it, for the 4th position based on the way the schedule ahead looks. A couple games against Loudoun, a couple of games against Charleston, a game against New Mexico. It lines up for them, but it all means nothing if they don't go out and beat Charlotte.
I agree with you 100%. That it's already, even if they beat Charlotte, there's still a long way to go, and it's still a massive uphill climb. But if they don't, then it's a lot to ask of them. By the way, Charlotte have taken the lead in their last 6 games. Just to build on the point we mentioned, Hartford have fallen behind in 6 of the last 7. So Hartford, if you want to win this, get on the front foot.
Hartford from right to left in the blue and green. Charlotte from left to right in the gray and black. The man in red, Elvis Osmanovic, blows the whistle, and we're underway here in Hartford. Season series has gone Charlotte's way, 2 victories to none. These teams will meet again once more down the stretch. And it's a 10-point gap right now between the 2 sides. One thing to note on the back line, no Tulu tonight for this Hartford team. You mentioned, Gary, as we were coming on air, off air, that maybe it was something to do with committing the penalty against Tampa Bay in the last game. But that right there is a man who is 2nd in the league in clearances defensively. We'll see if they miss him at some point tonight.
He's been a massive player for them as Austin Pack just grabs that. He has been huge for them, but you're right, he gave away the penalty last match. And sometimes, you know, managers just want to shake things around. Drop players who you think are undroppable. It sends a message to the rest of the team that, well, if they can drop Tulu and put him on the bench, then nobody's safe. So it was a big surprise, Tulu bringing down Dos Santos. By the way, Caldwell saving from Guenzardi. Yet again, the goalkeeper bails them out.
9 penalties faced this season. He has saved 5 of them. That's a Gary Bailey stat line right there. I'm sure you saved all the penalties you faced back in the day.
I wish. I tend to only remember the ones I have saved. Selective memory. But interesting that Askanov Apollon has been given the job of replacing Tulu. And on debut, that's a brave decision to make by Harry Watling, a player who hasn't played in the team yet, putting him in such a crucial position at centre-back.
A little shove from behind here. Comes from Bizema. And to your point, Apollon comes in probably in the best form of his career. He's 30 years of age. He has made 4 appearances this season for the Haitian national team, including in World Cup qualifiers. His first ever call-up coming at the age of 30. Played 12 games last season for Sacramento Republic in USL Championship, but his debut tonight for Hartford. Barrera lofts that one in, and it's dealt with easily by Fuchs. Everything goes through Barrera for Hartford. It's up to him to help put this team on his back and try and drag them into this playoff race and down the stretch here. Franchise's all-time leading goal scorer, franchise's all-time leading assist man. You name it in the record book for Hartford, he's got it. And he's one of just 3 players in USL Championship history to eclipse 40 career assists.
Absolutely brilliant. And who scored in the last game against Tampa Bay? Barrera. And he hit the crossbar as well. He hit the crossbar in the second half. So we're very close to getting a point against Tampa Bay. But you know, we've mentioned why this is important to Hartford, because they have to catch Charlotte in that 4th and final playoff spot. But for Charlotte, for them, it's getting rid of someone who's chasing them on their tail. So win here, you know, virtually puts Hartford out of the chase. And it takes them to within 2 points of Miami FC in that battle for a 2nd place finish. And that's important. If you're Charlotte and you're looking up and ahead, You want to be at home in the playoffs and not away against the likes of either Birmingham Legion or even Louisville City, which could be an extremely difficult match at Lynn Family Stadium.
Thank you to all of our Business Alliance members. Tonight's Business Alliance members of the match are New England Financial Group, Victus Coffee. Harry Watling said they have to use the home field advantage tonight. There's already a heightened sense of urgency and intensity in this squad, knowing the situation at hand. But on top of that, you got to go ahead and harness the energy the fans are giving you. Harness the home field advantage as well of playing on turf, something that is not Charlotte's normalcy. They play on grass. A lot of teams do play on grass. It's always different coming to play on this turf.
It is, and lots of players who've played overseas who won't be used to turf so much.
Inside here, it's deflected to the back post. Pack gets a hand on it. That one changed direction on the way in, and he still was able to deal with it.
That's a good save from Austin Pack. That was very, very close and just manages to get it out of danger. Sometimes you can save those and you plop them at the feet of an opposing forward. Well, he made the save and he pushed it away from any oncoming striker. So crucial save early on in the game.
Looked initially like it was a cross coming in, but it deflected off the defender, and all of a sudden, Pack is called into action to keep this 0-0. Obregon is waiting in the middle if he can get it. There he is. He's trying to turn. And it is.
Looks like it's a free kick for Charlotte. For a moment, I was wondering if it was a penalty, because when you see strikers go down in the box these days, you're never 100% sure. But here is that moment. Ball, yes, it does take a deflection, doesn't it? Luca Perpa trying to get the cross in. Well done, Austin Pack.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Trinity Health of New England. Thank you to all the incredible healthcare heroes in our community who have worked tirelessly and selflessly during the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's been a good start from Hartford. Their fans will be happy, and that's what the managers asked for, and it's what the players are delivering so far. Get at Charlotte, don't let them play, don't let these top-class players who've played at a very high level overseas. When you think of Obertan having played for Manchester United, Fuchs for Austria and World Cups, and for Leicester City, they bring so much knowledge and experience.
Great ball from Apollon. Here's Barrera. Back again for Apollon, swung in towards Obregon, chested down. Fuchs not going to let him set that one up for a shot. Tabor Itaka with a club on his right hand. Didn't show up in the injury report, but
he's had it for a while. I remember doing a match a good 3-4 weeks ago when he had that on his hand, and he actually landed awkwardly on it. That's why it padded so heavily. Obviously some damage to the hand underneath, and referees do check it to make sure that it's not too solid and can't be used as a weapon. So it has to be soft bandage.
Here's Armour. And a foul committed by Perpa.
Good to see Luca Perpa back. He hasn't played too many matches. This is only his 7th of the season. Did get a goal, I remember, early in the season against Pittsburgh in the dying moments, a near post header from a corner or a cross, and hasn't featured very much this season. So big chance for him to shine when needed, which is tonight.
Martinez going to go quickly on the throw. And now it'll be brought back. Midline Chiropractic is the official chiropractor of Hartford Athletic, offering athletics, rehab, and sport-specific training. Midline is aligned with your health and centered on your well-being. Visit midline.com today. That's MIDLIGN.com.
Game for all those Hartford fans who are thinking, well, this isn't a great season sitting in 6th place. This, and I think we've spoken about it a few times, this is a very difficult division. Probably, or certainly in my opinion, the toughest division of them all. I mean, Tampa Bay at the top, you've got Pittsburgh, Miami, Charlotte, who are super loaded. Charleston Battery, who can't even get into the top 4 at the moment. And I think they've made it something like 11 seasons in a row.
Over the top, taken down by Irvin Parra. And then poked to safety by Nicholas Cardona. Now out for a goal kick. And to that point, go ahead and you take a look at the standings. Hartford 31 points in 6th place in the Atlantic. You take them and you move them over to the Central, and they would be 4 points back of 4th place OKC with 2 games in hand. So they would control their own destiny in the playoff race. And then you start going through it a little bit more. It's a team that probably would have more points already if they were in the Central, because they stack up well against those teams and don't have to go up against the gauntlet of Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh and Miami and Charlotte.
Exactly. By the way, Jeff Caldwell just sticking that one out of play. That was a wasted opportunity. As was Irvin Parra minutes ago, by the way. That ball right over the top. Irvin Parra miscontrols it. Otherwise, he's through on Jeff Caldwell. So just shows you how quickly Charlotte can suddenly go from defense into creating an opportunity for Irvin Parra.
Parra with 10 goals on the season. He's the man to watch for the Charlotte squad. A little chat here between Osmanovic and Justin Hack, who has rejoined Hartford on loan late in the year for the 2nd year in a row. Last year, joined the fray in September on season-long loan then at that point from NYCFC, and now this time around he joined once again in August. So similar to last year, entering the equation down the stretch, and he has shown out time and again in that midfield. No trouble there. Initially the second shot in though. Sails over Caldwell's goal.
It's a snapshot, isn't it? It comes very quickly, and it's neither on target nor would it really have had the power to beat a goalkeeper as good as Jeff Caldwell. But you're just mentioning Justin Hack there, and normally they play with 2 6s, Hartford Athletic. He's probably going to be the only 6 Luca Purple will push forward a bit. Of course, Danny Barrera is always creating opportunities, and Preston Tabori Tucker will be more of an attacking midfielder, if not an attacker. They're set up to play 4-4-2, but I do think at times it probably will morph into a 4-3-3 if Preston pushes up.
Here is Hack, looking to spring and attack the other way. Derek Dodson up there for Hartford. He's got 5 goals this season. He gets to start tonight. Chance here for Charlotte. Overton had it knocked away. Looked like one more step and he was ready to pull the trigger.
I thought he could have shot initially because he got past the defender and then took a second touch.
Mortataka just touched it over the sideline, out for a throw for Charlotte. Please join us in helping founding partner the Hartford celebrate nearly 75 years of educating children about fire safety with their Junior Fire Marshal program. Visit juniorfiremarshal.com to learn more.
Just saw Christian Fuchs there having a little word with Preston, saying you ran into me. I don't like that, be careful. So he's letting him know that he's the more experienced defender. He's been around the block a few times, Christian Fuchs.
Holland initially touched it away from Marveau, gave it right back to Parra. Here's Martinez. Parra, Palomino. Back for Parra. All sent in, Martinez takes it down. Martinez tries the backheel, now the volley! Enzo Martinez! If at first you don't succeed, try again, second effort, and it's 1-0 Charlotte.
Great finish from Enzo Martinez, as he's done so often this season. What a star he is in that attack, just sitting behind the 2 front players. And a little bit unlucky there for Jeff Caldwell, because he tries a back heel initially. It doesn't come off, but it comes straight back to Martinez, and he's so quick to react. Have a look, Irvin Parra is going to cross the ball in here. He tries the back heel here, it doesn't work, but it sits up perfectly. Great response, and sticks it straight past the goalkeeper in the back of the net. Fantastic finish there from Enzo Martinez, his 4th of the season. And they're 1-0 ahead, Charlotte Independence.
I don't know what you're talking about, Gary. He meant to do that, as I'm sure what he'll tell people. Just how he drew it up, back heel off the shin, right back to him for the volley. And to take that back even a step further, the initial giveaway there came from Apollon on the turn as he tried to feed it away. So there is something that you probably don't want as the manager. Harry Watling, you make the decision that could be questioned at the end of the day to take off Tulu, who's been your best defender all season. Apollon comes in making his Hartford debut, and and he directly leads to the first goal.
Well, we gave a stat about scoring first, and that stat is that when Hartford, when the opponents score first, they have won 0, lost 10 and drawn 2. So they're going to have to break that horrendous record, Hartford, and come back from being a goal down. And I think it's the last 7 games in a row now that they have conceded first.
What do you make of a stat like that, Gary? To the neutral, it seems almost obvious, like, oh, you give up a goal first, you're playing from behind, it shouldn't be easy. But at the same token, you look around the landscape of the league, plenty of teams are able to win coming from behind.
Oh, absolutely. Just give that stat to be exact. It's 7 of the last 8 games Hartford have gone behind. That's a stat that's way too much weighted against you. So, but you should be able to come from behind. I mean, lots of teams do. You've got 90 minutes to score goals, and to score 2 in 90 minutes should be very doable for Hartford. So is it psychological that they fall behind and can't get back into the game? I don't know. Harry Watling might have a better idea, although when we asked him, he wasn't even sure. But he knows these players, so maybe he has a sense of what's going on. But they have to break that now. Hartford, and we said it's crucial, 1-0 down, it's all going against them. They have to find a way back in this match.
Sets up another opportunity, though, here as Martinez is taken down. Free kick on the way. Hartford Athletic would like to thank tonight's presenting partner of Youth Sports Night, Nuovo Pasta. You can find their award-winning selections of delicious fresh pasta in your local grocery store. Check out nuovopasta.com for more details.
Pollen just saying his apologies there. Another free kick for Charlotte. By the way, the last 6 matches at home on this turf, which you would think would favor Hartford, 3 losses, 2 wins and a draw. So home ground advantage should be for every team. It should be like a fortress, and it just hasn't happened here for Hartford Athletic.
On the flip side of that, Charlotte, 8 wins at home this year, 1 loss, 3 draws. Wow. They've struggled on the road, 4-8-1. Palomino drives one in. Too strong for everybody. Looked like it might have knocked somebody's beverage over under the tent there.
Yeah, Irvin Parra looked back over his shoulder at that and said exactly what you were thinking. That wasn't the best free kick. Overhit. Because Irvin Parra made a great run into the box there to get on the end of that free kick. Lost his marker, and the ball wasn't a good one.
Cardona. Now it's Palomino. Giving right back to Hack and giving right back to Overton. Sloppy play on the wing from both sides, and it ends up Charlotte's possession. The one thing Harry Watling did say about these slow starts, pointed to maybe a lack of concentration, and it's unacceptable because it puts them in such a bad position, but he took full responsibility. He said, it falls to me as a manager. I need to be putting players in better positions to succeed.
Look, it's a tough one, I think, for Harry Watling, to be honest, because nobody really expected them to be a top 4 side, Hartford. You know, where they are is probably where most people would have put them, given the riches that all the other teams have and the money the other teams have to spend. But after such a good start, you suddenly think, oh, well, they are a top 4 side. And then the manager comes under pressure when you drop down to 6th. That was a bad tackle on Irvin Parra.
Card out of the pocket. It's Cardona, I believe, in the mix.
It was very late on Parra. It's always going to get you a yellow. Let's have a look at it again. As the ball comes in, you can see Parra just gets there first. And it is Janjigian, I think, who catches him.
Janjigian gets the yellow.
Yellow card. Sets the number 20, Thomas Janjigian. Card says 17 minutes.
Ball's on the wing. Armour in the advanced position. He draws the foul. Another free kick now for Charlotte. It's a couple of fouls in a row here, Gary, from Hartford. Maybe some desperation from a team that backs against the wall, and now they're down 1-0.
Yeah, but you have to control yourself. You can't get in the face of the referee. You can't risk getting yellows. Budadi there just having a few words with the ref. Just got to keep control. Try and get your experienced players like Danny Barrera just to have a chat with some of the younger players. And Apollon at 30 years of age, he must bring his experience to bear as well.
Marcelo Palomino with what is essentially just a shorter corner here. Sends it right in the mixer. Punched away by Caldwell. Taken down by Marveau. Space closed very quickly by Dodson. One cleanly struck from distance. And it's out for a goal kick.
Dodson doing really well there, but then just couldn't quite jump on the loose ball. But a good tackle at a crucial moment. I think Marveau was just lining up a 30-yard pile driver, and Dodson doing some good defensive work for Hartford.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of USL Championship in many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com.
Just to focus on Charlotte a little bit here, we spoke to Mike Jeffries and asked him what the change in form was from July, because they have been absolutely superb, as your stats early on in this match showed. And he said, you know what, we've got a whole bunch of new players, which of course we know, I mean, fantastic players, Marveau and Obertan, and of course Christian Fuchs. He said we had Enzo and Joel get back from injury. We had Kevin Riascos settle in at right back, and there is Mike Jeffries. And he said, you know, when you add all that together, suddenly we found an extra level to go to. And he was saying to us both when we chatted to him, he probably thinks this is the most stacked squad he's ever had the privilege of coaching.
You go down the list, you've got a Premier League winner, former national team captain, you've got a former Manchester United player on the ball right now, Newcastle players, a lot of talent there. It's hard to argue with, and they might very well be the most talented team on paper in USL Championship right now. As you start taking a broader look around the playoff picture and you start handicapping the race, they very well might be the most talented team in the playoffs when we get to that point.
They could be. I don't think 2 months ago you would have put Charlotte down to win it. You certainly would have put them down to maybe get playoffs and maybe even have a good run in the playoffs. But could they beat Tampa and Phoenix? Oh, careful. Austin Pack. You probably would have said no. Given the players they've added now, you've got to be thinking, if you're an Independence fan, you could go all the way to the final and win it. That's how stacked this team is.
I do feel sorry for Louisville. Their hard-earned trip to maybe first place in the Central Division. What's it going to get them? Possibly a fourth-place Charlotte team in the first round. Good luck.
It'd be some game, wouldn't it, at Lynn Family Stadium? Wow.
Pollen, Perpa, and headed away by Roberts.
But as mentioned, if they win here, Charlotte, they go 2 points behind Miami, and they'll be very close to that second spot. So then it's a bun fight between all of them. Pittsburgh a little bit further ahead, but having played an extra game more than Miami and Charlotte. So the second position is very doable for Charlotte should they win here today.
Hack finds Barrera. Pressured immediately by Palomino. Cardona. A little stumble there from Oberton. Nobody saw it except everybody watching this game. Janjigian on a yellow card. Finds Dodson, dropping in a little bit deeper from where he started this game. Pollen floats one in. The only player there is Austin Pack. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Travelers. Thanks to Travelers, presenting partner of our Community Champion program. Children from underserved communities throughout Greater Hartford are able to come to the matches free of charge.
Very comfortable on the ball, aren't they, Charlotte? Able to knock it around, find players. They control the ball quickly. Look at that Fuchs to Obertan. It's going to be very hard to dispossess them. And of course, they're 1-0 up, so they can say to Hartford, you know what, we'll keep passing it around. It's your job to try and get it off us and attack us. And of course, you push too many players forward and we'll pick you off and find the gaps.
Mike Jeffries said this team still prides itself in terms of their identity on being a possession-based team as the flag is way up. And Pack just collides with Obregon.
Well, the whistle hadn't gone. It went as they went to head the ball. The whistle went, and the keeper had to go for it. Says he's sorry. I'm not so sure the look. I'm not so sure the look from Obregon Jr. was, yeah, I believe you. because he's going for it, and then they, mind you, the keeper did head the ball, so it wasn't like he missed the ball and hit the player. Tough one for Obregon Jr., but he's strong enough. He gets up and gets on with it. Austin Pack, by the way, before the last match against Birmingham Legion, 4 straight clean sheets. He's been in superb form for Charlotte Independence.
Caldwell has to come up and grab this one. Has to use his feet. Going back to that point for Mike Jeffries, they still pride themselves on being an possession-based team, but they've learned over the last couple of weeks, with all the experience in the fold now from a player like Fuchs and Oberton and Marveau, those guys have added a new dimension where they don't just have to rely on the possession to win a game. They can be more direct. They can go ahead and try to win a game based on how they play in transition. It's that aspect, now the experience from those guys, that takes this team to a new level. Here's Bronico. Lays it for Martinez, already with 1 goal, tries to feed it now to Para, and it's cleared away.
That was a good chance for Irvin Para again. He doesn't quite catch that, did he? He went to hit it, and it ended up sort of coming off the edge of his boot, but a shot inside the box for someone as good as Irvin Para. Expected a bit more from him.
Don't miss Hartford's next home match right here at Dillon Stadium on October 16th at 7 p.m. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and more info. And your favorite craft beer festival is coming to Dillon Stadium. Registered now for Small State Great Beer Festival for unlimited tastings, the best food trucks, and more. hartfordathletic.com/SSGB.
Let's see what Hartford can do now. The crowd are getting onto them a little bit. They want them to push forward. They want them to attack. So they're giving away possession. They're trying to go long. They lose possession. They can't play through the middle because Charlotte are very quick to close them down. Just got to remain calm, Hartford. They mustn't sort of panic too much. I know the crowd might start to get onto them, but just got to keep on trying to find a way through this Charlotte defense.
We figured maybe Hartford is catching Charlotte at a good time. A couple of road games in a row, coming off of a long streak of victories for Charlotte. Maybe heads hung a little bit low coming off of a loss against Birmingham, but that does not seem at all to be the case. No hangover effect from that loss against Birmingham. This Charlotte team looks absolutely focused to get back on the winning track. Great bit of play down the flank. Oberton forgot the ball.
They've only lost 2 in the last 12, Charlotte, so yeah, that loss against Birmingham Legion's a bit of a knock, but still, they know how good a side they are.
Oberton clips one in. Only Apollon is there. Nobody coming to Bronico. He'll take his space. Feed it out wide. Adam Armour. Space for Armour to get a ball in. He cuts it back to Marveau. The strike from Marveau over the bar.
Oh, Adam Armour given way too much space on that left-hand side there to get right into the box and pull it back for Marveau. He wasn't too far away. Have a look here. You've got enough green and blue jerseys, and they allow Adam Armour to get right down the line and inside the box, and Marveau wasn't too far away. Once again, they're losing possession too easily, Hartford. Time and time again now. They're on the back foot. They win it, they lose it, and then they have to keep defending.
As you said that, they give it away again. Now it's Oberton on the right foot. Oberton has it blocked. Gets it back, and it's taken away. Bizuma just pulls it back calmly. Roberts.
Such a difficult situation for Hartford because this Charlotte team is a fantastic side. So it's not surprising to see Hartford struggle, but on a night when they absolutely have to win, they're already 1-0 down, they can't keep possession, they can't get any attacks going. At least they have the fans in the background supporting them, as you said. And what Harry Watling wants is he wants this team to fire up the crowd, and hopefully that will get them back in the game. But so far, hasn't been enough on the pitch to make you think that Hartford can beat this star-studded Charlotte side.
Walgreens is proud to support Hartford Athletic and the hashtag Changemaker of the Month program. Nominate someone making a difference in your community, and they could be recognized as a Changemaker of the Month. Go to hartfordathletic.com/COTM to learn more. Talking to Mike Jeffries about the playoff race. They relish this dark horse tag that has been bestowed upon them. They're a team that was maybe a little bit late to the party because of the roster turnover and just getting cohesion, getting players back from injury. Lineup the first 10 games, so different from the lineup the last 10 games, which is not the same for a lot of the other top teams. A lot of those other top teams have had the same consistent starting lineup all season long. So it is a totally different squad here. They've been more consistent defensively over the last month and a half as well. And they gladly will take, again, that dark horse moniker because they don't believe they're dark horses. They believe they are title contenders. Barrera finds Tabor Itaka. Obregon back to Tabor Itaka, waiting for it to come down. Tabor Itaka up in the air from Fuchs. Pack punches away. That was the best effort of the night from Hartford offensively.
That's a great chance for Preston Tabor Itaka, and I thought he had actually done the hard work. He got past the defenders. It all sat for him about 3 or 4 yards out and then just couldn't finish it off. That really is a fantastic opportunity for Hartford to get themselves back in the match. They haven't had too many, have they? Have a look, he plays it, he gets it back. It's a lovely sort of triangle movement. Now there, he's past Hugh Roberts, and I think the keeper makes a save there, Austin Pack, doesn't he? And then he gets the punch away as well. Good God, did he make the save here? Difficult to see whether Preston missed the shot or not, but either way, Austin Pack gets up and punches it clear of danger.
Looked like it hopped up on him at the last moment. Half an hour gone with Gary Bailey. I'm Joe Malfa. Thanks for joining us this evening here on ESPN+. The goal scored by Enzo Martinez for Charlotte back in the 12th minute. The difference right now, as it stands in the live table, Charlotte would go 13 points clear of Hartford. And we have an early change here in the match for Hartford. That's it for Luca Perpa. In comes Connor McGlynn. That substitution is brought to you by 4G Recycling.
I didn't see an injury, so that might be tactical. And Harry Watling did say to us beforehand that he was not going to play with 2 number 6s. He was going to play with 2 10s. Well, he's just taken off a player who would perform the 10 function and brought on a player who performs the 6 function. So maybe he feels they're getting overrun in midfield, and that's the problem. So it's a slightly more defensive midfield now, which was the way he normally lines up his midfield.
And the sign of a team in a desperation mode right now. I feel like 9 times out of 10, Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, you still probably wait until halftime to make that change. Yeah. But here they do it just a half an hour in. Dodson to Obregon. Obregon has a go. Pack makes the save, and the rebound is just cleared out for a corner kick by Hugh Roberts.
It's a good shot from Obregon, and right away the changes that Harry Watling has made has brought a spark of life to Hartford Athletic. Perhaps they feel they can keep their attacking players further forward now they have an extra defensive midfielder. Good strike, solid save as expected, and they're just playing it safe by knocking it out for the corner.
Bank of America corner kick. First of the evening for Barrera. And Hartford find that response. They've struggled coming from behind in games. They find themselves behind now. Barrera swings it in. Janjigian was there. Fuchs got ahead to it and cleared further along by Irvin Para. Big shove on the sideline from Para. Clean physical play. That's something surely to wake up McGlynn as he just came into this one.
Yeah, welcome to the game. He's a big lad though, Connor McGlynn. I don't think it's going to bother him too much.
J Restaurant is proud to support Hartford Athletic. Visit J Restaurant, located at 297 Washington Street in Hartford, for their special Hartford Athletic Booze Nanza drink. Show your game day ticket and receive 10% off your entire order.
Well, the last few moments we've seen a bit more from Hartford Athletic. That Obregon shot that Austin Pack fairly comfortably saved. The Preston chance a couple of minutes beforehand. And that's what they need to do, is get shots on target. That Preston one, unfortunately, I don't think hit the target, but you need shots on target. Against Tampa in the last match, they only managed 3 all game at home. Hartford to Tampa's 5. some of the other matches when they played Charlotte a few weeks ago, they only managed 2 to Charlotte's 5. So you can see that in games, you know, they've really struggled. They only had 3 on target against Lou City at home, and Lou City had 11 on target. So that's the issue for Hartford. They need to get shots on target, and the last few minutes will have given their fans a bit of hope.
Para trying to touch it by Janjigi, and already has a yellow, but that is cleanly done by the defender. Mike Jeffries didn't really downplay the stature of this game. He knows it's a big game at the point of the season where they all come with a heightened sense of intensity, and this one's no different, but he harkened back to the cliche of just one game at a time. Said if you lose focus on the game at hand and the bigger picture doesn't help you out too much.
And I think that's fair enough, because that's what almost every manager says. There's so many games happening and there's so many permutations that you just treat each game on its merit. You deal with it and you move on to the next game.
Bujati too far out in front there of Dodson. And another change on the way, it appears. This one from Charlotte. Dane Kelly getting set to check into the match for Irvin Para, we're told. Waiting for that to become official.
I didn't see Irvin Para get injured, and I don't see why else you would take him off, because he's been one of your top players.
Irvin Para is still jogging atop the formation like he's totally fit there. He is jogging across the field to help out Obertal. There it is. Irvin Para did just go down.
Okay.
So maybe he gave it one last go to test out his legs.
That makes sense now. And you can't take a risk with Irvin Para. He's been in such fantastic form. 10 goals this season. Absolute superstar of a signing from San Diego Loyal. Mind you, how good a squad is this that Irvin Para goes off and Dane Kelly comes on?
Oh, no big deal. Just taking off Irvin Para to bring on the all-time leading goal scorer in USL Championship history with 95.
Yeah. That's it. Mike Jeffries really does have a wonderful squad there, and he's very appreciative, obviously, of all the players that have joined. A lot of them have joined on loans. Of course, one wonders if that's going to be, some of those players will be around next season, but this is the focus for this season. It's like a hamstring for Irvin Para.
Change brought to you by 4G Recycling. Dane Kelly had an injury midway through the season. He struggled to get back to his normal spot in the rotation, but again, you take a look at the roster, who are you taking out? Irvin Para's got 10 goals on the season. Marveau, Obertal, the way they're playing. It's not a knock on Dane Kelly. It's, you know, you've got the best super sub potentially in all of the league, but who are you taking out? Hey, unless there's an injury like there is now to Para, you can't really say that Dane Kelly deserves to be in over one guy or the other. It's an embarrassment of riches right now for Mike Jeffries.
It certainly is, and it's a while since he last scored. It's back in July 31st against Tampa in a 2-0 win that Dane Kelly scored. So, mind you, a couple of goals here today, and his manager might be sticking him back in the team sheet, and that's, as I guess, as a striker, is what you got to do.
Pollen able to clear that one. Obregon gets on the end of it ahead of Roberts. Back for Tabor Taka. Now Hack. Hack feeds it inside, and it's deflected all the way through to Pack. AARP Connecticut is proud to support Hartford Athletic and welcomes fans to visit aarp.org/CT events to learn more about upcoming virtual events. Our events are fun, informational, and free to people of all ages. That's aarp.org/CT events.
That's better from Hartford. Some nice football just playing through the middle there.
Tabor Taka was hoping it got to him on the backside. Headed off for another corner kick by Bizima. Second Bank of America corner kick now on the evening for Hartford.
Yeah, definitely momentum flowing back with the home side. You can see that Austin Pax is busy organizing his defense, but it's been Hartford on the front foot the last 10 minutes or so. Up until then, they'd really struggled to get into the game. Now they're on the front foot. They need to get that goal to bring things back to level pegging.
Elvis Osmanovic, a quick word with the players in that grouping there, top of the box. Barrera drives it in center of the box. It's still loose on the ground. I think Pack made a save. Don't know how that stayed out. And it's a goal kick in the end. Or initially Osmanovic pointed goal kick. Now he's saying corner. What happened there?
Pinball machine is all I can describe it as.
Another corner kick in the end for Barrera. Good area again. He puts it into Roberts. A little more secure on the clearance this time. Only back out for Barrera again. Curls one in, headed away by Bronico. And now the pressure alleviated by Charlotte.
That was unlucky for Hartford. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened, but I could see the ball was bouncing around. It just needs to fall to the right person, and it could hit the back of the net.
Maybe that gives them some life here at the end of the half. Tebore Taka. He just fizzes that one wide into the advertising boards. Let's take another look back at that last corner and see who it might have pinballed off of last, or how many times it did pinball in here. Count them up, Gary.
Let's have a look. Headed down, comes back. Oh, it's his own player. Hits it into one Obregon Jr., I think, which is why they're claiming it was a goal kick. It's a little bit of bad luck there, Hartford. It just shows you that they're not far away. It's been a good 10-minute spell. That'll make Harry Watling feel that they're back in this game.
Dane Kelly knocked out for a throw. Hartford Athletic would like to extend a special thanks to our partners Jim Beam Bourbon and Hornitos Plata Tequila. Those right there are the bounces that you can't have go against you if you're Hartford. Margin of error is razor thin at this juncture of the season.
But you also have to make your own luck, and good teams, they bounce back from being 1-0 down. They bounce back from getting bad luck. They even bounce back from having a player sent off. That's where you measure the really good sides, and that's the challenge here for Hartford. You're 1-0 down against a fantastic Charlotte Independent side, but if you want to be up there in the playoffs, you have to find a way to beat them.
Harry Watling said as much. On the road ahead, they have Charlotte twice. One more time after tonight, of course. And they have 2 against Loudoun, who sit bottom of the table. They have 2 against Charleston. They have 1 against New Mexico. So they have a chance in the run-in here to the end of the season to go ahead and make some noise, but only if they beat Charlotte. Nothing else matters if they can't pick up these 3 points now, and again when these teams meet in a couple of weeks.
Exactly, because this Charlotte team are not likely to drop too many points. If you're 10 points behind, it's in the games against them that you're going to make the most difference. Obregon Jr. all on his own, but he's managed to keep possession.
Here's Barrera. Vital intervention is made, but it's only as far as Apollon. Volley is just wide.
Positive signs again from Hartford, the breakaway, the numbers they were able to push up and forward. Obregon Jr. just holds it up, but shot just flashing wide. I think, to be fair, Austin Pack probably had it covered. But definitely you get the sense that now is a good time for Hartford to score. They've had a few chances. Just need to take one of them and get themselves back on level terms.
Obregon has been active. And he draws the foul here. Hartford Athletic is proud to partner with CLA, creating opportunities through your organization's entire life cycle by providing a seamless suite of services in wealth management, advisory, outsourcing, audit, tax, and consulting. Learn more at cla.connect.com.
Throwing all the big bodies forward. This is going to be, I assume, a ball high into the box. The big men to attack.
Barrera does just that, but it's right to Roberts. Charlotte looked to break quickly. Here's Marveau. Alberton. Bronico and Palomino close together in the middle. Back for Roberts. Mack commits the foul. Be sure to share your Matchday Smiles. Take a photo in your Hartford Athletic gear with the hashtag MatchdaySmiles and tag @Delta Dental to be entered in a contest to win VIP experiences at Dillon Stadium.
Oh, another one there. Hack gets a yellow. So I think that's for repeated offences. This is where just puts his foot in, and that was, to me, I know it's not the first time, but still, it's not much, was it? Nonetheless, he's going to have to tread carefully. But for Charlotte, they can afford to do that. They can afford just to hold the ball and say, you want it, come and get it off us. We're the ones at 1-0, and probably the Independents quite happy to get to half-time with this 1-goal lead, bearing in mind the last 10-15 minutes has been mostly Hartford.
It's played in for Kelly. Caldwell got a touch to it. It's going to be a corner here for Charlotte.
Enzo Martinez, to the right of your screen, they're just applauding Dane Kelly, saying, well done. That's it. You know, put them under pressure, get shots on target.
Two important players, mind you, for Hartford on yellows right now in terms of their defensive efforts, with Janjigian as a center back and Hack playing in that number 6 role. Two guys who are going to be involved in a lot of tackles down the stretch here. You'd imagine they have to be very careful.
Yeah, very true.
Martinez has the lone goal. He leaves it for Marveau. Marveau floats it, back post. And Caldwell is there. There's going to be one added minute here in the first half. And stoppage time is brought to you by Brignoli Vineyards.
Jeff Caldwell again, fantastic hands under a lot of pressure. Not easy that when that ball drops on you, because you've got a standing jump, whereas others coming in have got a running jump. Goalkeeper again does the business, as Jeff Caldwell has done most of the season.
Here's Obregon again. Obregon, 7 goals on the season for Hartford.
Okay, and the big boys go up. Danny Barrera, they all go, all of them now. He's going to wait and then try again to load this ball right into the center of the box.
Well-weighted ball into that dangerous area, but Austin Pack is secure on it. It is Noche Latina here for Hartford at Dillon Stadium. It's also Hispanic Heritage Month in USL. Join USL in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month through October 15th. Visit uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage for exclusive content and stories that celebrate members of the Hispanic community who have helped shape the USL. And that brings us to our whistle to end the first half. In a game that Hartford must have, they must have a goal now as they're down 1-0 going into the break.
Yeah, last 10-15 minutes has been good for them, but as Enzo Martinez just chats with Dane Kelly, it has been Charlotte who, for most of the first half, looked very good, comfortable on the ball. Austin Pack's had a couple of saves to make in the last 10 minutes or so, but it's up to that man, Danny Barrera, to get his team fired up and scoring goals in the second half, because they have to win this one. We've mentioned it a few times and we'll keep mentioning it. The pressure is on Hartford Athletic.
And those are not our words, those are Harry Watling's words. Backs are against the wall. He said this game will make or break the season for Hartford as they try and claw their way back into the playoff race. Right now, things are stacked against them in the standings and in the game. It's Charlotte with the 1-0 lead. We are back in a few moments here from Dillon Stadium. Welcome back here at the half between Hartford and Charlotte. Big game in the Atlantic Division playoff race here. And what are these teams playing for? Well, they're playing for a first-round matchup against teams from the Central Division. Let's take a look at some highlights from the Central Division already this week. You're going to see this matchup twice, OKC and Indy. Huge meeting between these two teams twice this week as they jockey for position in that Central Division playoff race.
Yeah, it's so tight, isn't it? It can change in a moment or two, and it does in this particular moment. Chavez slipped through. What a lovely ball for the big man. Turns, sticks it in the back of the net, and OKC are 1-0 ahead.
He has had a very tough go of it this season, Chavez. They've been waiting for him to step up. Finally did it a big time.
Yeah, and then Daniels pops up here and gets the second as well. That's a fantastic win at home. Tough day for Indy 11.
Memory bank that one. Like I said, we're coming back to it. Then here's Atlanta and Louisville. Atlanta, another team in the thick of things right now. They're 5 points back of OKC. Louisville trying to lock up first place. Wasn't so easy on the road against Atlanta.
Oh, Bauer getting a goal there. He was just trying to get the ball back in the box. Here he is, his arms out saying, what the hell, I'll take it.
And then the other way as well. Similar situation, that same back post. Louisville makes it 1-1.
And who else? Cam Lancaster. How he does it game in and game out, whether it's headers, tap-ins from a yard or two out. He's a great goal scorer. Louisville
inching closer and closer at the top of that division, but Birmingham only 2 points behind. I said to Memory Bank it, we're back to OKC. Indy, a weird little fixture here where they played twice in a couple of days, but they go at it again. Indy performed a little bit better.
Yeah, on the front foot for much of this first half, and Artiaga's going to come up here. Just gets in between. Look how many green and white shirts there are around there. And he's the lone striker, but he gets on the end of that cross.
It would not last the entire evening. OKC in 4th position right now with 35 points. Indy all the way down in 7th with 30, and that's why they were so close to 3 points, Indy, but couldn't get it in the end. And we're back in a moment here, back to the Atlantic Division playoff race between Hartford and Charlotte.
Today, as you step onto the field, you step into your purpose. You step strong. You step hard. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
Hey y'all, can we change up the chores?
Sorry. It's up to the wheel, man.
Oh yeah?
Hey, change the channel back.
Sorry, it's up to the wheel.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
He's after it again. Opino got the shot away.
Jimmy McLaughlin, oh, sensational! Cuts it back, Armando Moreno sticks it in, and Josh Suggs tucks it away. And the header, and it's saved by Tampakis.
Today, as you step onto the field, you step into your purpose. You step strong. You step hard. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
.45 down, 45 to go here between Hartford and Charlotte. But before we get to that second half, we take a wider look around USL Championship with some news and notes. Phoenix Rising, it's not really a surprise, but they're the first to officially clinch a playoff spot, Gary. Did slip up last night, though, against LA Galaxy, too.
They did, but they're allowed that to slip up once in a blue moon. Again, every season for the last 3 or 4 seasons, they have been absolutely fantastic.
Now, one player who has not slipped up at all this season is Haji Barry. He is right there within arm's reach of the record.
Yeah, he plays against El Paso this weekend. That could be the day which sees him not only equal the record, perhaps even beat it. What an achievement. What a player, Haji Barry.
The Clear Audio Player of the Week is Nico Brett. 3 goals and an assist in a pair of wins this past week. We take a look at the Team of the Week that joins Nico Brett this week. You have a game like that, you're going to end up Team of the Week. Billy Forbes, Ariel Martinez, they benefited from playing Loudon and padding the stats a little bit. I'll say that. But take your pick here of who stands out to you. Plenty of names out there who just have been terrific lately.
Everyone stands out, to be fair. I'm just looking at Leo Fernandez, 2 assists for the Rowdies. Sebastian Anderson, a couple of great crosses in there for Colorado Springs switchbacks. And Justin from Steve, by the way, also playing well last night against Phoenix Rising. A fantastic young goalkeeper.
Take a look at the upcoming schedule around the league. Everything is tense now at this juncture of the season as the playoff races heat up. Charleston and Tampa Bay, a big one in this Atlantic Division. Charleston may be the only team who could still catch Charlotte, depending on how things go down the stretch here. Tampa Bay doesn't look like they're slowing up at any time, though, either.
No, Tampa Bay, one of the favorites to get to the final. Look at Miami-Pittsburgh. That's a battle for maybe second place in the Atlantic Division. And then Charlotte will have a match at home to Loudon, which really on paper should be a win for Charlotte Independence.
Charlotte beat them 5-0 last time they met, and on the right side of the screen you see a couple more Central Division teams with big games. These Atlantic teams will meet the Central teams in the first round of the postseason, so start keeping an eye everywhere in the Eastern Conference. We take our eyes and we put them back here between Hartford and Charlotte in just a moment.
Hey, want a beer?
Young man, say aye to the blandest lager in all the kingdom.
It's the beer that everyone else is drinking.
Heavy and full-bodied, just like me.
How about a Beam and Ginger Highball instead?
Yeah, definitely.
Much better.
We don't just protect things. We help protect the life you've built around them. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
Back at Dillon Stadium, players on the field, fans getting back to their seats. A big 45 ahead for the home side here. Hartford Athletic down a goal to Charlotte Independence. We take a look back at highlights from the first half. Charlotte had 8 shots. Hartford had 7. There was plenty of action back and forth. It was only Charlotte able to break through for a goal.
Yeah, there were opportunities. Barrera there, always danger when he's on the ball. That one there was a little deflection. Austin Pack with a great response because the deflection is only sort of 6-7 yards away and the goalkeeper deals with it brilliantly.
And in the 12th minute, you do get that goal from Enzo Martinez.
Yeah, Irvin Parra with the cross here. Enzo tries a back heel, doesn't come off, but it just sits up for him, and then just a brilliant strike. A little bit lucky that it sits up perfectly for him, but how quick is he to respond, and what a fantastic finish from Enzo Martinez.
Does he get a goal and an assist for that, or just a goal?
Does the defender get the assist for knocking it up?
In the 30th minute, things started to turn around for Hartford. They started to play better as that half went along.
Yeah, Preston goes for a little triangular 1-2-3. Gets a chance there, and then I don't know whether he mishits it. He's literally 3 yards out and doesn't test Austin Pack. Have a look there. He beats the defender and then sort of trips up as he's about to strike the ball.
Take a look at the stats in the end from half number 1. As I mentioned, 15 total shots split nearly down the middle. Only 3 combined on target, and then Charlotte who comes away with the goal.
Yeah, you can see the shots on target really are the ones that tell you the most. Charlotte was slightly more. We did see Hartford last 10 minutes of the first half get back into the game. Obviously not as much possession as they'd like, especially at home. We don't see crosses here, but they had 12 crosses to Charlotte's 6. So in that sense, they were on the front foot a little bit from a wide perspective, but the bottom line is you've got to test the goalkeeper, and they only began to do that in the last 10 minutes of the first half.
They're going to need to do that a lot more often in half number 2, and they're not just going to have to test Pack on the other end. They're going to have to beat Pack on the other end because they need these 3 points. A draw does them almost no good because all that it would do is keep them the same distance behind Charlotte with 1 fewer game left on the docket. They need the win. Harry Watling says as much. It all comes down to what they do in these couple of games against Charlotte. They have 45 more minutes to flip the script tonight. Caldwell's done his part, as he has all season long. Now it's time for the 10 players in front of him to do their part. One more change to get to you here for Charlotte. They used 1 sub in the first half with Irvin Parra coming off and Dane Kelly entering. Now it is Joel Johnson entering the match for Jose Bizima, a like-for-like sub on the right wing here for the Independents. Charlotte from right to left in the gray and black. Hartford from left to right in the green and blue. Ready to begin half number 2. There was 1 change made as well on the Hartford side. That came in the first half. Seemed to be a tactical change because Luca Purpa seemed unscathed, didn't have any issues, but he came off for Connor McGlynn. They're still getting that sub ready here. Charlotte, there it is. Joel Johnson in. And Jose Bizima out. .45 to go. 45 vital minutes here for Hartford at the fork in the road of their season. Will they go the path that sees them back in the playoff race, or will they go the path that sees their playoff hopes nearly die out tonight?
Yeah, I think you've set the scene perfectly. That's exactly the way it is for them. And the stats are not in their favor. Of the 8 games where they've been behind at halftime, they've lost 6 and drawn 2. So even a draw wouldn't be enough. So they have to break the stats here, Hartford.
Dodson gets away with a handball still with it, and now loses it.
In fact, it's going to have to be one hell of a 45 minutes to break all the stats so far this season, never having won when they've been behind at half-time, up against a fantastic and loaded Charlotte side. They're in a run of very poor form. I was having a look, 2 wins from the last 12 versus Charlotte's 2 losses from the last 12. 2 teams with opposite stats there. So Hartford's form, they're going to turn that around. So as you said, massive 45 minutes, but they do have home ground advantage. They've got that turf, which is not always easy to play on. They've got the crowd who are still beating the drums and singing the songs and waving the flag. So something on Hartford's favor. Now they're going to turn it into goals.
The foul goes against Johnson, his first involvement in the match. This Hartford fan base felt this season might have been something special early on. It's turned around since then in a bad way. Here's Barrera. Budati back for Hack. Reminder that Hack and Janjigian are on yellows. Here's Budati on the ground, and Pack makes no mistake about it. Harry Watling talked about what turned for them in the season. Early on, there weren't really many expectations. They were an unknown entity to teams. Felt that teams took them lightly, thought they would be lower in the table. But as the season went along, teams stopped taking them lightly. They dealt with injuries, they dealt with international duty, and all of that was kind of the perfect storm that yielded a turn in the tide of the results for this Hartford team.
Yeah, look, I think, you know, most teams have had to deal with internationals going away, but Hartford probably more than most. Most teams have had injuries. I think we must be fair and say Hartford don't have the deep pockets of the Charlottes and the Tampas and other teams, Miami, for example, that can go and get players and strengthen the roster in the middle of the season to the extent that Charlotte have done. And so it's got more and more difficult as the season's gone on for Hartford.
Hack gets it back. It's blocked again. Another thing that Harry Watling noted is they stopped doing the basics well as this foul is called here. Dane Kelly.
Dane Kelly, you can't raise your hands.
Shoves Cardona to the ground, picks up the yellow card, and that might set the stage for a very temperamental second half here.
Tell you what, Dane Kelly's a very lucky man to only get a yellow card. Normally, the moment you raise your hands and push someone, that's an immediate red. I know he's probably got a bit of a bump from the back. And he got a kick, didn't he? And he got a bump to follow it. And I think that's what he got annoyed with. He got kicked firstly by Cardona and then got bumped. But you can't raise your hands. I think that was a noise from the bench, probably from Hartford's bench, saying that's a red card. I've got some sympathy with them. It's certainly, I've seen it given. I'm not saying I'd like to see it given, but I have seen it given. I think Elvis Osmanovic will be watching Dane Kelly very closely from now on, thinking to himself, you cross the line again and it will be a second yellow.
Another quiet, steady night so far from the man on the free kick, Christian Fuchs. That's what you come to expect from a player of his caliber on that back line for Charlotte. So vital in that turnaround. You noted 4 clean sheets in a row prior to that match against Birmingham.
Yeah, Mike Jeffrey's saying that he's wonderful to have in training, one of the first guys out on the training pitch, and very, very competitive and has really good professional habits.
Oberton right into the chest of Janjigian. A new era of Division II professional women's soccer begins in 2023 with the introduction of the USL Super League. Head over to uslsoccer.com/USL Super League to learn more.
Just looking at Charlotte again, if they win this, we've focused a lot on Hartford having to win because that is the big talking point. But if Charlotte go on and win this, then they have 3 home matches coming up, starting with Loudoun on the weekend, and then New York Red Bulls 2, and then Charleston. So they're in a great position to go for that second spot in the table if they should win here tonight.
Here's Martinez. Options in the middle. Dane Kelly just scuffed it. Long run for Oberton to keep it in. He won't get there first.
It's a good chance for Dane Kelly. Normally you'd expect him to at least hit target there. And have a look at this again. Enzo doing a great run into the box, keeps his balance, sets up Dane Kelly. He hasn't got any defenders on him, and he totally whiffs on that one. When you're only 1-0 up against any side, and especially one that fights as hard as Hartford, you don't want to take chances. You want to get that second and third and kill the game off.
Harry Watling at the edge of his technical area, directing the traffic here on the throw from Budati. I wonder what's going through the head right now of Harry Watling.
That's a tough one, isn't it? When you're a young manager, even with his wonderful pedigree at Chelsea and West Ham, you know, it's a great start to the season. Everything's looking good. You're getting pats on the back, and then it starts to go wrong, and everyone looks at you and goes, well, you're the manager. You need to sort it out, which he openly says. That's exactly the case. He is the manager, and he takes the blame. But it's a frustrating situation when you're in such a tough division, and no matter how hard you try, and certainly they've tried in the last sort of 10, 12 games, they just can't get results. And they've been sliding down the table. I'm sure many managers, not just Harry Watling, but many lie awake at night thinking, what do I do differently? Do I change my system? He generally plays a 4-4-2. Do I mix it up? He tried today to play one defending number 6 and 2 number 10s, and he changed that, didn't he, after, was it 30 minutes, bringing Connor McGlynn on and going with two defensive players in McGlynn and Hack. Just Barrera pushing forward. So sure, you could actually end up not sleeping at all. You could spend the whole night trying to rethink things.
And that's just worrying about your own side. That's not even including some of the sleepless nights I'm sure managers in the Atlantic Division have the night before they have to go up against a Tampa Bay or against a Charlotte or against a Pittsburgh and a Miami with all the talent these teams have. And going back to your point a moment ago about where Charlotte might fall on the table, again, the focus right now is how far ahead of Hartford they are, because these are the two teams at hand, but they're right there to climb the table themselves. Outside of Tampa Bay probably coming in first place, 2, 3, and 4, you could tell me it's going to go any which way between Charlotte, Pittsburgh, and Miami, and you could make the case for all three. Oberton cuts in, Oberton the shot, and Caldwell just watches it glide on by.
He scored from a similar position against Miami at home, where he went on his right foot and then cut it back to the goalkeeper's left-hand side as we look at the goalkeeper. That time Oberton just missing. But you're right, I mean, Pittsburgh have 2 tough away matches coming up against Miami FC. And so Miami will be looking to finish second. And it could very well end up with Pittsburgh being in 4th place. But again, if you look at it from Mike Jeffrey's point of view, step number 1, make the top 4. Then step number 2, try and finish as high as possible.
Marveau lays it off here, inside Kelly. Palomino, Oberton, options abound in the middle. Armour. Nice move by Armour to get it by Table Ritaka. Armour whips it across, headed away by Cardona. Here's Fuchs. Feeds it along. And nothing doing there in the end for Charlotte as Adam Armour loses it. Hartford Athletic would like to thank the law offices of Crescenzo DeLuca, serving Wethersfield, Greater Hartford, and Connecticut with 41 years of experience in immigration and general practice law. Dodson hasn't found this game much. There haven't been many opportunities for him or created by him.
I mean, he's got a good goals record, 5 in 14 games is a very reasonable return, but he's got some good headers at the far post, and he needs to get in the box. I think he's a big lad who needs service, as opposed to him trying to be the one serving up the ball. That's more Danny Barrera's job.
Dodson, the number 8 overall pick in the most recent MLS draft by Orlando City SC, where he is currently on loan from them. Happened back in July. As you mentioned, 5 goals since then, 15 appearances, 10 starts. Armour and Hack going at it in the corner. Remember, Hack has a yellow card. Does have to be extra careful in there, signaling that there was maybe a little dive in there from Armour.
Well, Armour just waiting for the contact and to go down. I think Charlotte are they're comfortable, they're 1-0 up. They're probing to try and get the second, but I think they feel they probably have the game under control. And it's very much up to Hartford to get the ball, get in the attack, keep possession, as they were doing the 10 minutes before half-time. They really got at Charlotte in that 10 minutes. Austin Pack was a busy goalkeeper, but it's all gone a little bit quiet. I think that's why Jeff Caldwell was saying, come on, get up there. I'm gonna smack this long. Let's get on the attack.
Almost on cue there. A change is on the way from Hartford. When it happens, it'll be Derek Dodson exiting the match and Sebastian Elney coming in.
I just wonder with Elney, just the 1 goal in 13 appearances, not enough. Maybe this is his match to turn that around and score some crucial goals, but so far this season he hasn't made the impact that he should do given his level of talent.
2018 national champion with the University of Maryland. Into the match now for Hartford. Here's Martinez. Confused himself there with the step overs he was trying to do, and it's out for a throw-in. Oberton down back behind the plate.
I think he tried to nick the ball of somebody there. Was it him and Barrera battling for it? And looks like he's done something to his knee in the process. And that'll be a blow to get a player as good as Gabriel Oberton. And then to find he's injured within his first handful of games.
Jake Arman quickly pulling on the jersey.
Have a look here. He's going to lose, and he makes the tackle here. They're going to put his foot in there. Just gets that right. Oh, it's the left knee, isn't it? That straight away as he stretched around past Nicholas Cardona, he felt that.
As soon as he went down, Arman pulled on his jersey. Wonder if that's what the change will be, if it does happen. But Oberton walking over to the halfway line, wants to come right back on. That's a good sign. And he's waved back on by Osmanovic, so good to see that from Oberton. Looked worse than it maybe was in the end right away. Going down, holding the left knee, non-contact. Back out there now. Dane Kelly takes it away from Cardona.
So those two again. There's a push in his face. They're at it. We'll see more of Cardona and Dane Kelly. Part 2 and part 3 still to come.
There might not be a part 3 if he picks up a second yellow in part
true.
2
Yeah,
for Dane Kelly. Apollon. Now Barrera picks his head up, try to pick out a teammate. In towards Obregon. Save is made by Pack. You called for them to start doing that a little bit more, Gary, and it nearly paid off as we approach the hour mark.
Absolutely. Get the ball in the box, cause some problems if you can't play it through the stacked midfield and go long. Preston was also waiting to get in there and just wonder if he was a better option. Obregon going backwards does really well to get his header, but Preston, to board attacker, was coming on with all the momentum. Might have been the better option.
Bank of America corner kick as the clock reads 60. Hour gone, half hour to go. Swung into the back post and all the way through. Oberton will chase it down. Hartford Athletic is proud to team with local health plan Connecticut to support food security in Connecticut. Connecticut is celebrating 40 years of caring for the health of our communities. Warnitaka. Elney gets a touch to it. Here's Obregon. Obregon on the shot. Might have deflected. At least Barrera thought so. He was trotting out to the corner. It'll be a goal kick.
I think you're right. I think there was a deflection. The crowd certainly feels so as well, but not given. This is better from Hartford. Now they're on the front foot. They're getting the crowd fired up. And what Charlotte have to do, and Mike Jeffrey said, is we've got to match the intensity of this team. We know they're going to come at us. They're desperate. We've got to match their intensity. That's the challenge here for Charlotte Independence.
Johnson. We saw it on the other end with Martinez. Now on this side with Johnson. They do the step overs and they lose the ball. Almost too much for themselves in the end. Here is Martinez. Battling for it in the corner, stays in. Bronico. Chipped inside towards Oberton, flicked towards the back post. Nervier than it maybe had to be for Caldwell.
I think as we just passed the 2/3 mark in this game, if you're a neutral watching, you probably want Hartford to get the equaliser and really make it a grandstand finish. Obviously, if you're a Charlotte Independence fan, you want the second goal so you can relax.
Might one of those come here. Obregon Not on Hugh Roberts' watch, but it's back for Obregon, and it's blocked again by Johnson. Third opportunity over everything from McGlynn.
Much better Hartford, really having a go. I think if you're a fan of a side and they end up losing, but they really, really go for it, you can accept it. And that's what Hartford are doing here in the second half.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank Nuovo Pasta, Connecticut, Stop and Shop, and Citizens Bank for supporting our Goals for Meals program. For every Hartford Athletic goal scored this year, these partners will donate meals to Food Share Connecticut. Fans have been banging the drum, singing the praises for 62 minutes and 50 seconds. Don't get the sense they're stopping anytime soon. But Dane Kelly trying to silence them just a little bit. Back for Oberton. Martinez goes flying. Oberton shot is deflected out for a corner kick.
Good deflection, good defending. Oberton was just lining up to stick that in the top corner. And a good block. And Jeff Caldwell just relieved he didn't have to try and deal with that Oberton shot. This is where the match is won and lost now for Charlotte. Second goal and you pretty much think it's all over. For Hartford, can't afford to concede and got to get down the other end and create chances. So a delicately balanced and poised match at this stage.
Martinez set to take it. The captain for Charlotte has the lone goal on the evening. Driven in, front post, save is made by Caldwell. Time and again, he's bailed out Hartford. He does it again. Now can the 10 men in front of him turn it into something at the other end?
Dan Kelly with the header there at the near post, and you're right, a very good save there from Jeff Caldwell.
Here's Martinez, end line. Martinez, that might have hit the post. Marveau keeps it alive. Hartford under heavy fire now. Charlotte looking for maybe the death blow here, and it's just pulled wide.
Dan Kelly is such a threat, isn't he? So quick to respond. Good header, gets it on target, and Jeff Caldwell comes up with another crucial save. Just have a look at it. Enzo Martinez with the ball. Dan Kelly shouldn't be able to get ahead of his man there. Questionable defending from Apollon. But good goalkeeping once again from Jeff Caldwell.
There is nothing that gets Gary Bailey giddier than seeing good goalkeeping like that.
Well, he's kept his team in it. I mean, you know, these fans, if they get to enjoy a win at the end of the day, they're going to have to turn around to their keeper and say, you kept us in the game, which, as we said in the beginning, he's done so often this season, Jeff Caldwell.
Barrera, after the miscue from Charlotte. He feeds one along. Tabor Taka was in this sight line of Austin Pack, but the keeper comes away with it. Westfield Bank is proud to support Hartford Athletic and all they do to make our communities better. Need more convenience from your bank? At Westfield Bank, you can bank your way. Learn more at westfieldbank.com.
This is where they're so good, Charlotte. They're able to knock the ball around. They've got great touches on the ball. Players who are very comfortable in possession. Make it difficult for Hartford. They're going to make them chase in these sort of closing minutes of the game. Last 20-odd minutes.
Oberton lays it off for Armour. Now it's Kelly trying to find the lane, cuts it back. Veronico for Johnson. Into his own teammate there, as Marveau couldn't get out of the way of it. That was either a handball against Marveau or a flag popping up on Enzo Martinez off the deflection. Either way, it's a kick from nearly the same spot for Hartford Athletic. Mike Jeffries knew that they would be getting Hartford's best shot tonight on the Charlotte side. They were prepared for extra intensity, prepared for some heavy late challenges, kind of like that one, as Connor McGlynn will pick up a yellow card. They're prepared for it all, and they've dealt with it well so far, to the tune of a 1-0 lead.
They have. Credit Charlotte, no question about it. They knew that it was going to be an intense match. They've dealt with the physicality of it. They've possessed the ball well. Nice little turn from Enzo Martinez. Just sort of dupes Conor McGlynn into sticking a foot out, perhaps unnecessarily. He's having a bit of a mumble to himself. But this is where they've just got to keep cool, Hartford. I know the clock is ticking down and the pressure's building. They still need 2 goals if they're to win this match. They can't afford to do anything silly. Just keep it tight. And even if you have to wait for the last 10 minutes, you can still get 2 goals then.
Changes on the way here. That'll be it for Justin Hack. Substitution brought to you by 4G Recycling. Entering the match is Keenan Hott. As is Walmer Martinez. For Preston Table and Ataka, all subs brought to you by 4G Recycling.
Well, sometimes fresh legs can make a difference. They bring a fresh energy into the match, and that's what they'll be hoping for. Walmer Martinez, I don't think he has scored this season in his 13 matches. So now would be a great time for him to get his first of the season.
That does get a yellow card off the field as well for Hartford. They're triangle at the back of Conor McGlynn, Justin Hack, and Thomas Janjigi, and all on yellows. So now Hack out of harm's way. Ball swung in towards Obregon. It falls Elney off the post.
Well, they're claiming a penalty there, Fuchs, on Obregon. Not sure. It has to be enough for the referee to be definitively sure that there's a penalty. He can't just go on what he thinks he saw. He didn't see enough. And once again, Austin Pack making a crucial save. Both goalkeepers been in good form in this match.
You mentioned the goal-scoring track record this year of Elney. Just 1 so far. For a striker, not enough. He narrowly missed there, getting what would have been one of the biggest goals of the season for Hartford as they try and stay alive.
That was a tight angle for Elney. Difficult to score from there. They've got to find a way. Doesn't matter how it goes in now. It gets more and more desperate as the clock ticks on.
Over the top for Obregon. The flag did go up. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our partner, The Fix. Go to thefixivtherapy.com to set up an appointment and learn more about their amazing treatment options.
I think it's fair to say that Hartford's season rests in the next 20 minutes. 2 goals needed, none conceded, 3 points in the bag, and the season continues. Anything less, and their chances are extremely slim of making that playoff position. Your stat that you showed at the start of the game is amazing. How many points clear were they 12 games ago?
On July 30th, Hartford went to bed 7 points clear of Charlotte in the standings. Wow. On the 12-game run for these teams that started the morning of July 31st, Hartford has picked up only 7 points. Charlotte has picked up 24. Wow. They went from 7 points up to 10 points back, and as it stands, they'd be 13 points back at the end of the night.
Wow. It's a great run for Charlotte on the one hand, and obviously a bad run for Hartford on the other.
Swung in towards Obregon. Roberts nods it away. As it would stand, Hartford does have that game in hand on Charlotte, in which they can try and narrow the gap back down to 10 points. But then with 6 games to go, you're trying to make up 10 points against a very loaded, hot team here in Charlotte Independence. But a free kick now for Hartford.
I think temper's getting a little bit flared as well between both sides. Certainly desperation creeping in for Hartford, so they're going to push and shove and fight and bark over everything, as you would expect them to do.
Kenan Hott, Danny Barrera stand over it.
Danny Barrera, good ball into the box. Give your big centre half something to fight for.
Barrera serves it up, headed down and saved. Austin Pack with the save of the night for the Independents.
That was Cardona, I think, who got the header in there. What a lovely ball sent in, as expected from Danny Barrera. Brilliant ball in. Look at Cardona get up, gets ahead, and it's, look, it's a save the keeper should really make, but still it's a decent header with pace on it as well. At least they're coming closer now, Hartford.
Barrera was that close to his 10th assist of the season. The all-time leading goal scorer and leading assist man for Hartford. Here is Kenan Hott. Clips one over the top, out far in front of everybody. Hartford Athletic partner Day Hill Dome is holding a fundraiser to support St. Baldrick's Foundation to fight pediatric cancer. To learn more and support, go to hartfordathletic.com/foundation.
There's the worried look of manager Harry Watling. He's made his changes, he's brought players on, he's shifted the formation around. Not much more a manager can do except wait for his players to perform. He must look at the budget of Charlotte and think of the players they've brought in, Marvo and Obertan, Christian Fuchs. I mean, Austria, 41 caps for Austria and 152 appearances for Leicester City. Those are some class players that Charlotte Independents have brought in.
In fairness to Charlotte, some of those loans from the new MLS side that'll be coming into play next year. So not necessarily footing the entire bill, but to your point, deeper pockets. Only flicks it along. Obregon brings it down with the hand. Download the official Hartford Athletic mobile app presented by J Restaurant. Available for Apple and Android devices. It's the one-stop shop for all things Hartford Athletic and the easiest way to manage your tickets. Go to hartfordathletic.com/app.
Hartford closing down. Now they're going for the high press. They've got to. Just got to try and dispossess Charlotte near their box. And it might mean leaving a few gaps in defense, but that's what you got to do now. 15 minutes left on the clock, plus minus. 2 goals needed.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank Fresh Beb, the official cocktail mixer of Hartford Athletic. Obregon has Elney to the left, and Roberts wins it.
He's been massive, Hugh Roberts. He's won so many headers in the back there. He's won tackles. One of the unsung heroes in many ways, but what a good performance today from the big man at the back.
Jake Armand pulled that jersey on quickly when Oberton went down about a dozen minutes ago. Oberton has continued just fine, but now Armand is set to finally check in, as is Kevin Riasco. So a pair of changes on the way with a quarter hour remaining for Charlotte. Loaded into the box, nodded along, but just wide. Not much power on that one from Budati. Riascos will enter for Marvo. He's bringing on a defender for a striker there. So Charlotte right now maybe looking to just defend this one out. And on the other end, Overton for Armand.
Right, fresh legs, fresh energy. There is a battle ahead for just over, around about 15 minutes. There's going to be a lot of aerial balls coming in. A lot of tackles that Armand will need to make in and around that midfield.
Number 2, Kevin Riascos. Replacing number 56, Sylvain Leonard. Also entering number 4, Jake.
Warmly greeted by Mike Jeffries.
Replacing number 32, Gabriel.
I think he needs that warm greeting. It is a chilly night in the low 50s here in Hartford. But another strong shift put in by Marvo. Won't factor into the score sheet tonight, but he showed up in a number of places.
Some lovely touches, fantastic control of the ball, but didn't quite have the impact that he has, or that he had in the previous meeting when he scored both goals.
Johnson. Martinez, his goal holding up as the only one of the evening, slips one through for Joel Johnson. Johnson making a move, trying to find Dane Kelly.
Just wonder whether they're going to pay for those misses, Charlotte. They're in the box. They just, it wasn't the best pass, and second goal would finish the game off.
Martinez played along for Johnson. Falling forward in the middle was Palomino. Back for Johnson. Bronico. Fuchs. Space here, opens up for Armin. Wide for Armour. Back for Armin. Flipped inside, diving header attempted. Dane Kelly did not make contact as he flew in for it. Kept alive, Palomino. Promising attack here for Charlotte. They've held on the ball in the attacking third for about a minute now. Armin finds Armour, those two working in the corner.
Yeah, just keeping possession, working the clock down a little bit. As long as they stay in that third of the pitch, then they can't concede, obviously, and they can slowly work that clock down to the end of the game. They're in no rush, of course. All the sort of focus is on Hartford to win the ball and get down the other end of the pitch.
And a corner coming now for Charlotte. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Stanley Black & Decker. Stay tuned each week for the Stanley Innovative Play of the Game.
Jeff Caldwell just barking out instructions, making sure they don't concede anything. They can just keep it to 1. There's always a chance that they can get an equalizer at worst. Although they need the win, Hartford, even a draw might just keep the door open for a playoff position.
Back post, Caldwell on the grab. Just over 10 minutes to go with Gary Bailey. I'm Joe Malfa. Glad you could join us this evening on ESPN+. Do or die for Hartford. It appears they're not mathematically eliminated with a loss tonight, but it'd be all but over for them as they would look up and be 13 points back of this Charlotte team.
And it's a Charlotte team that's got Loudon at home next to New York Red Bulls 2 at home, so you'd fancy them to get 6 points there. And that would only extend the gap.
Those two teams met tonight in the first game of the season between teams mathematically eliminated from the postseason. Contact edge of the area. Which way is the point coming? It is a kick for Hartford, but it's just outside the area. I don't know about that one. We're going to have to take a look at it again. Yellow card out of the pocket as well. It's issued to Palomino.
It's a risky one from Palomino either way. And again, referee only gets 1 look at it. There's no VAR. There's no going back and having a good look. Let's have a look and see if the ref got it spot on. Contact. Yeah, just does it continue
I'm going to
into the box?
disagree with you, Gary. Look at the left foot. Look at when the contact happens. Look at the left foot here, where the left foot is, right there on the line. That's a penalty. Now you cannot fault Osmanovic for that. We see that only in the microscope of a slow motion replay at a close-up angle. But Hartford, they have a quarrel with that one.
Perhaps they do, but again, if the referee isn't 100% sure, he can't give it. He can't assume, he can't make anything like that, and you're right. There's just no way you know that that's inside. So unfortunate for Hartford, that's the way it breaks, but risky one from Palomino, by the way.
Still a good chance here where this ball is positioned for Barrera to drive one in, find the teammate, and find the equalizer. I would have felt a lot more comfortable from the penalty mark with nobody in the way of this one. Barrera drives it near post. Doesn't matter. It's in anyway. Penalty or free kick. Hartford has leveled it.
Well done, Hartford. They've been battling, they've been fighting, they've been trying to get back in this match, and eventually, and not surprisingly, Barrera is the man that unlocks that door. Austin Packett saved everything they'd thrown at him up until that point, but A ball whipped in from a free kick, bodies at the near post, it gets through them all and goes past the keeper. The fans are delighted, they're back in this match and time to get a winner. Let's have a look again. Barrera whips it, does anyone get a touch? Hard to see at the near post, probably Nicholas Cardona will try and claim that. Either way, they're back in this game, but they need a second if they're going to get all 3 points.
Not sure exactly who it came off of, but it actually looked more like it might have been an own goal there from Charlotte.
Are you going to take that away from Cardona? Good luck.
Martinez trying to get it right back. Dane Kelly! The celebration is short-lived for Hartford. USL's goal king adds another, and it's 2-1 Charlotte.
Oh, Dane Kelly with a dagger to the heart of Hartford Athletic. Just when they pulled it back to level terms, he gets beaten again, Jeff Caldwell. Not much he can do. And Dane Kelly with his 8th of the season. They're the smiles. He's taking the high fives. How tough is that for Hartford? You just get the equalizer, and within 1 minute, you leave that man free in the box, and it's Cardona who just got the goal. He just scored the equalizer. He lets Dane Kelly go and pays the price. 2-1 for the visitors.
For Dane Kelly, it is number 97 in his USL championship career. He sits alone at the top, and he continues to add to that tally.
Oh, absolute heartbreak for the Hartford fans. Yep, Jeff Caldwell, hands over his head. He can't believe they're switched off. You know what, when we were playing, we were always told the same thing. You're most vulnerable 5 minutes after you score. And we used to sort of say to each other, concentrate for those 5 minutes. Well, there's proof again. Cardona himself had got the touch. He's been credited with the goal, so we hear. Equalizer switches off. Busy thinking of what maybe the headlines would be, and we're all human, we all do it. And he gets punished. And maybe you have to give credit to Charlotte and say this is what makes a great side. Away from home, they get scored on, an equalizer, and they bounce straight back. Positive, they attack, they get a ball in the box, they get a challenge, win the header, and they're back in the lead. Quality from Charlotte.
Kelly just got the goal, he's on it again. Veronico, out for Johnson. Johnson, he's taken down, no call.
Man, it can be a cruel game at time, can't it, soccer? When that happens, when you've fought your way back into the game, and within a minute, Charlotte take the lead. Again, absolute credit to the Independents for coming straight back, but how tough for Hartford Athletic.
Just taking the time now in the corner is Armour. And he is taken down harshly in the corner. Some shoving going on between some players on the field and some players off the field. Tempers are flaring once again.
Yeah, you always think you're inviting trouble when you take the ball into the corner and you hold on to it and you waste time. You're inviting someone to come and kick you up in the air. Yunus Budadi obliges. And of course, Charlotte do it to get your book. So Budadi's got to take a deep breath. But I always think it's better to knock the ball around. That way, it's tough for Hartford to get that tackle. And the moment you stick it in the corner and you just wait to be kicked, well, guess what? You're going to be kicked.
Hartford Athletic would like to extend a special thanks to their partner, Kon Resnick, as Osmanovic is sorting out everything that went down in the corner.
It's been a good refereeing performance by Elvis Osmanovic, as far as I'm concerned. Been quick to jump on any situation that got a bit too chippy. Made the right calls as far as he can see them. And has kept good control of this match.
2 players on the bench for Charlotte have picked up yellows. One of those being Christian Dean. One of those a player who is actually not even dressed tonight.
Well, given that they're 2-1 up, I would have thought if anyone gets booked on the bench, it's the Hartford subs for, you know, getting upset. Maybe Christian Dean was upset with that kick out from Budadi. But they are 2-1 up. They just need, as far as Charlotte are concerned, just need to keep it cool, run down the clock. Easier said than done when your blood is boiling and all the excitement of the game.
Armour. Fuchs. Back again in the corner for Armour. He's taken down again. Couple of minutes to go, plus whatever is added on now, and Hartford needs a pair of goals. The longer the ball's in the corner, it's not going to help this Hartford club.
Tony Pereira with a foul. They're not like him to be late on tackles. He's such a good touch player, doesn't get too involved. But I guess desperate times for these Hartford players.
Palomino, Martinez. He gives it away. Kenan Hott takes it. Martinez, and he'll give it right back to Charlotte.
I don't think they're going to be in any rush to take this throw in. Just saying. Well, the fans are still singing. Great fans there at Hartford Athletic. Brilliant. They haven't stopped this entire match. And it hasn't been a happy game for them until they got the equalizer, but they've still kept singing.
Only giving chase behind Armour. Now it's Armin in the 90th minute. Hartford Athletic is proud to team up with Stop and Shop in all of our community efforts as we work year-round in the fight against food insecurity.
Oh, it's all taking off here. Some time wasting going on and pushing and shoving, and referee's got his hands full now.
I think Elney picked up the yellow initially as he jogged away, but there's a lot to sort through here.
As I always say, if you're going to waste time, just knock the ball around. Don't go into corners, and because you're going to get body contact, you're going to get pushing and shoving. Let's have a look and see what happened. Hard to make it out, but for Charlotte Independent, just keep moving the ball around to the back, and you've got enough players who are good on the ball. Let's have a look. I think Armin, the ball goes out there, and then Elney goes in, and then they start kicking. Budadi gets in there as well, and
now on the field, it's continuing. Armour picked up a red card as we're showing you this replay. And the Charlotte coaching staff is upset with Armour as they're pulling him off. We'll take a look back here at what happened now with Armour. He is sent off, so the last few minutes will be Charlotte down to 10 men. I'll have that replay for you in a moment of why Armour is sent off.
Yeah, I just don't think Charlotte needed to get involved in all of this. They're the ones who are 2-1 up. They've just got to keep knocking the ball around, keep out of trouble. Instead, now they've got someone sent off. Hartford have the extra man, not for too long. Let's have a look and see. He does a handout. Was it enough for a punch? I know a hand in the face might be seen as enough. There was a bit of a hand in the face there against Budadi. Didn't seem like it was a punch or anything, but these days, if you raise your hand to anyone's face, you're in trouble. Wouldn't have surprised me if Hartford got someone sent off because they're all fired up and chasing, but Charlotte, you're 2-1 up. You're the ones who must try and just keep calm and relax. Again, easier said than done for those who have played the games. You know what happens when your blood boils, you can't think straight, and that's how it is with these two teams. They've given everything, got stuck into each other, and they're really fighting right to the death here.
We are in stoppage time now, brought to you by Brignoli Vineyards. 5 minutes of added time, but the first 90 seconds of those 5 minutes were dedicated towards the battle down in the corner, so we'll see how far over 5 minutes we do spill here. Nice move on the wing, Apollon. There's a second ball on the field.
Well, great commitment from both sides, and Mike Jeffries said, we've got to match the intensity of Hartford. Well, I think they've done exactly that. Credit to Charlotte Independence. Hartford have thrown everything they could at them, and they've managed to deal with it, and at this moment have the lead.
There's no trouble there for Pack. He'll just wait for some more time. Elney trying to hurry him along.
What, ask him very nicely to get up quickly?
Goalkeepers wouldn't like it, but I'll tell you what, if they wanted to crack down on goalkeepers milking time like this at the end of the games, if they started calling the 6 second a little bit more often, I think we wouldn't have that issue. It's in the rule book. It's probably the least used rule in the game. But if you started calling that every now and then in a big moment like this, and I don't mean to put this on Elvis Osmanovic, this is more of a big picture view of the game around the world, I think you'd have that issue far less often.
I would agree with you 100%.
And that is coming from a goalkeeper. So.
Yeah. Look, every player uses the rules to their advantage. When you're up, you slow it down. When you're losing, you speed it up. Everyone does it, and goalkeepers will hold on to it if they're allowed to. But if you're not allowed to, the first thing you'll do is bang it down the pitch, get the game on, and that's what I think as a fan you want to see. Excitement, the ball going from end to end, not goalkeepers slowing it down.
And the phrasing you use in there, if they're not allowed to. They are not allowed to, it's just never called, so.
Interpretation of there's rules, and then there's interpretation of rules.
Getting hot down on the end line. Keeps it alive for Hartford, but only for a moment as Hughes comes in to clear. Udati is possessed by Armin. Reminder, Charlotte playing down a man. Adam Armour picked up the red card a few moments ago. Apollon out wide, Obregon trying to find a little seam to get a shot off. He does, it's blocked. Top of the box by Kevin Riascos. Approaching the 5 minute mark of the added time. Might spill over it a little bit based on the stoppages we've seen within stoppage time. Elney flicks it along, Obregon is there. Roberts gets ahead to it, Pack grabs it, loses it, and he's clattered into. And it's finally cleared away after the whistle.
Goalkeeper takes a knock and stays down, but Hugh Roberts once again with a vital interception. Austin Pack had come off his line searching for the cross and hadn't got there. And his centre back hauled him out with a fantastic header, and then Pack went up, got the ball and got hit in midair. And I don't think he's going to be in a hurry to get up. Good defending once again from Charlotte Independence, and Hugh Roberts in particular. Fantastic defense from the Independents. Goalkeeper, centre backs. Christian Fuchs as well. He's been there and seen it and done it, but he still has put in a shift as well. And for Hartford, it doesn't get any easier. They've got New Mexico United away next match, then Charleston away. So one big battle after another for the boys from Hartford Athletic.
This was back against the wall for Hartford. That Charleston game will be a de facto elimination game. Might even mathematically be an elimination game by the time we get to it.
Although you do think that this is the real elimination game.
Correct.
13 points behind now. Almost impossible to catch up with Charlotte in that fourth spot.
Charlotte's preparing a sub if they get the chance to, but the whistle might blow before we even get to that point. Herrera feeds it along. Apollon. A corner kick on the way for Hartford.
There's a bit of a question there as to whether Barrera elbowed one of the Charlotte players in the face.
Bank of America corner kick on the way for Hartford. Goalkeeper up as well. Jeff Caldwell.
Go Jeff Caldwell.
Charlotte has been trying to get this sub on, but it's been denied. Barrera's corner, driven in, headed away by Martinez. And there's the final whistle at Dillon Stadium on a very tough evening for both sides. Hard-fought battle. We saw exchanges of pushing and shoving and punches thrown. The battle ends with Charlotte winning 2-1.
A fantastic victory for Charlotte Independence. Mike Jeffries must be so proud of his team with the fight they put up, the battle. They had to match the intensity of Hartford Athletic, and they did. Tough for the team in green and blue. They put up a huge fight, especially towards the end. That goal by Dane Kelly just killed them. Just when they got back on level terms, within a minute, Dane Kelly left unmarked in the box, takes the opportunity and kills off Hartford Athletic. What a game, what an effort from both sides.
And don't miss Hartford's next game right here at Dillon Stadium on October 16th at 7 p.m. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and more info. And your favorite craft beer festival coming to Dillon Stadium. Register now for the Small State Great Beer Festival for unlimited tastings, the best food trucks, and awesome live music. Learn more and register at hartfordathletic.com/SSGB. We're back in a moment to wrap this one up from Dillon Stadium. Hartford left it all out on the field in what Harry Watling called a must-win game for them here as the season is winding down, but it wasn't enough in the end. They greet the loyal supporters here at Dillon Stadium. With Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malfa. We take a look at the full-time highlights, of which there were many in this game that finished 2-1. We take you back to the 12th minute when the goal scoring started, courtesy of Enzo Martinez.
Yeah, Irvin Parra with the cross here, comes in, Enzo tries a back heel, doesn't happen, and then so quickly reacts to the ball bouncing up in the air, gives it a great volley with the right foot. Have a look at that, past Jeff Caldwell. What a good strike from Enzo Martinez.
That was his 4th of the season. He would later add an assist, but before their goal, there was a Hartford goal on the other end.
Barrera whips it in near post. It's around the space where Cardona is. He's throwing his fist saying, I've got to touch on it. Hard to see what happened. Either way, great ball in from Barrera, and Cardona causes enough trouble at the near post for it to end up in the back of the net.
I don't want to take a goal away from Cardona, but I think that was off of Brant Bronico as he
good
went to celebrate.
Good luck taking it away. Good luck.
I mentioned Martinez came up with an assist. Here it is to who else but Dane Kelly.
Oh, brilliant finish from Dane Kelly. Cardona, having just played a part in the equalizer, loses Dane Kelly. Doesn't challenge him. Enzo Martinez with a great cross, and Dane Kelly, as he has been throughout most of his career, critical, crucial, and clinical.
This game would get dicey then in the end. Shoving going down in the corner. Sebastian Elney picks up a yellow card there. Adam Armour comes in with the elbow right there. Got up in the face of Yunus Boudadi. He was shown the red and shown an early exit. And that is how it ended. 2-1 in Charlotte's favor. The red card in the end as tempers flared, but the night belongs to the Independents as they don't mathematically eliminate Hartford, but it's pretty much done now for Hartford Athletic.
It is. I think Hartford Athletic playing more for pride from now till the end of the season. Charlotte, fantastic victory and in a very, very difficult, tough physical game. They had more shots on target until the last few minutes when Hartford just passed them. But I think they managed the game perfectly. One up for most of the game. As soon as Hartford equalized, they got the second, then they defended. They kept their lead. Professional performance from Charlotte. Tough night at the office for Hartford Athletic.
The next one for Hartford is on the road against New Mexico. The next one for Charlotte coming up on the weekend against Loudoun United here in the Atlantic Division playoff race. A big 3 points for Charlotte Independents as they create more distance between themselves and Hartford Athletic. For my broadcast partner Gary Bailey and the crew that makes this possible, I'm Joe Malva saying good night from Dillon Stadium in Hartford, Connecticut. It's Charlotte Independents 2, Hartford Athletic 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.